Hello everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, bringing my guide for God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty. Today we're doing part 5 entitled Martyr's Chamber. So we're now heading out after we just got the amulet, so now we have the ability to decay and heal things. And hopefully, I'm just gonna turn off completely. I don't think it'll pick up anyway, but just in the off chance that for some strange reason my volume for the video volume might pick up. I don't know, because, you know, I just don't know. I won't know basically until the editing, and it's like, well, I'd rather just not have some weird sound desync thing. And it's so weird too, because like after I just turned off my speakers, my brain still makes it seem as if I'm hearing the sound, and it's really bugging me. Also, I did lie. I said I was going to only do just the one video today. And, because, you know, it was an hour-long video, and I'm like, I don't want to do any more today. Well, I spent the rest of the day doodling and fucking playing God Hand, so that was fun. No, I wasn't recording it. I was just trying to, like, see if I could try to figure it out the best way I can. And something that's been bugging me, though, I don't know if anybody has an answer to this or not, if you play God Hand yourself. I heard that, at least from Seraphim17, I've heard that he's mentioned that you should never use continue from checkpoint. You should always just load your save. And I don't directly remember which video it was he said that in, or what exactly that all fully entails. Well, I understand that he's talking about your money, but I got done beating... Oh shit, that's not even stage 1, is it? That's probably why. I need to go, yeah, okay. Whenever I reload my save, I need to go check, because I just got done beating the first boss, like the first true boss, the double boss room. That one is just a pain, man. That one took me hours to do that. Mainly because, like, I was being kind of stingy with my stuff, and not utilizing my actions appropriately, and then I eventually just got super lucky to the point where I just dropped a bunch of roulette stuff. So yeah, that's another thing too about God Hand, though, is like if I ever do a guide of it, it's going to be almost damn near impossible to do a guide of God Hand, because I could only tell you so much, and the rest is just up to you. The rest is up to you, the rest is up to the game, because there's so much random stuff, random item spawns that just help out, or sometimes just don't help at all. So it's like somebody could be watching me play it, and I get, I don't know, some really good loot to show up or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, what the hell, how'd you get that and I can't? And it's like, I don't know, man, that's just how it works. So to be fair, I think if I ever do hard mode, yeah, I'll probably still call it a guide, but I can only guide you in so much stuff before it's like I said, the rest is just completely up to you, because I cannot physically help you get better at that game. That game requires you to get better at that game. So that's... yeah, it's brutal. What bugs me the most is I'll tell people, like in real life, I'll tell people how brutal and painful it is. And they've never played the game, or at least, well, my brother's played it, but I don't think he's ever beat it. No, I don't think so. But he knows it's tough, but he doesn't know how tough it is. Like, he's got an idea of like, oh, you know, I've seen all those combo videos you show me, and it all looks pretty tough, but not like dreadfully tough. You know, I'll tell my friend and he'll just go silent whenever I talk about it, because he's got literally nothing to say about it. Probably because, you know, it's one of those things where it's so dreadfully painful that it leaves everybody speechless. No, it kind of makes me wonder if, like, whenever I tell people about how hard something is, it always makes me think, like, do they actually think that, like, in the back of their mind, are they like, well, I can do it. Well, I can do it. And I'm always thinking to myself, like, well, if that's the case, fucking prove it. You know, I just want to say that every time, because I just always feel like whenever I'm talking about this stuff, because, like, for example, you know, going with God of War Ascension, it's like, it's the same thing where if I'm playing God of War Ascension, I was to tell my friend or my brother about it and say, yeah, Titan mode is pretty hard, but, like, it's only hard in very specific spots. I bet you anything that they're like, deep in their subconscious, they're probably thinking, like, it can't be that hard. This guy's a fucking idiot. This guy's a liar. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But they've never played it. They never experienced it. But, I mean, I guess, if anything, you could probably say the same thing for me, too. It's like, I've always heard about how hard this or that or whatever could be, you know? And then it's like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that it is. I mean, I guess, if anything, just to go with it, you know, the Pikmin No Death Run on my channel that my friend did all those years ago. You know, I don't know how hard that is, because I've barely played through Pikmin. I've never beaten Pikmin. I know what it's about, I know what it's like, but I've never beaten one of them before. So it's like, to me, I have no clue if that's even regardlessly, like, or if that's even really that impossible. I mean, I've played Pikmin enough to say, wow, that's actually quite tough. That's actually quite tough. But, you know, when it comes to my games, I feel like nobody really has the ability to completely empathize with that either. And that kind of sucks, too, because, you know... Also, by the way, these guys are just the same shit as they always are. It's nothing. Just let them blow up, get angry, and then just avoid them. You know, it's that same routine over and over again. They're not a boring fight or a bad fight. It's the same thing every time with these guys. And again, keep in mind, I'm not trying to shit talk. I'm just saying, like, I get this overwhelming feeling, like, most likely whenever I talk about something, I feel like people don't really seem to just fully grasp at any macrum of what I'm even talking about. When I say that God Hand is hard, I mean it's hard. You know, and everybody will tell you. Everybody who plays God, well, at least almost everybody that plays God Hand will probably tell you, like, yeah, it's not fucking around. That game wants you dead. It wants you dead all the time. So, by the way, like, I would love to do a guide of it. I would love to do one, but that is probably further in the future, because I got a lot of other stuff I kind of want to do beforehand, before that happens. Also, I do plan on doing Uncharted at some point. I think I mentioned this before, but I'd like to do Uncharted, and then I'm going to be doing it on Crushing first, because I'll be playing off the collection, and I don't think... I think I've only beaten those games like once, so I don't think I have Brutal Mode unlocked. I beat Crushing back in the PS3 version, of course, but when it came to the collection, I don't think I really did. So I'll be doing Crushing first, and then after a while, maybe at some point I'll come back and do Brutal Mode, but we'll see. And by the way, when I say Brutal Mode is quite tough for Uncharted, because like Crushing is not like super difficult. I don't remember ever having too much trouble with Crushing, even back when I was younger. But I can vouch for Brutal Mode. I tried it one time on Uncharted 1, and I'm like, God damn. Like, you stick your head out. You even have like a tuft of hair behind the cover. That tuft of hair gets shot, and you're dead. And it's like, fuck me, man. It's almost a no damage run at that point. You basically just have to do it that way. Also, fuck this Finding Nemo section, by the way. There's no reason for this to exist. You get nothing here. There's no chest that I know of. There's no secret passageways. There's no, nitro crates, no TNT crates. But you can surely get hurt by running into rocks, which is just the fucking most weirdest thing that they let you do. But as far as I know, for an underwater section, it's just straight up just dive through it and go through it, and that's it. That's all you do here. Like, what the why? I mean, I get for environmental storytelling, I get it, but like, it just seems kind of pointless when there's just nothing else to do besides the one thing to do. So, yeah, I don't know, I have nothing much else to say about that. We finally made it to the harbor of Kira. I could have called this part that, but I feel like it doesn't make any sense because the harbor itself is actually quite small, and almost damn near nothing really happens on it, so... oh yeah, I had a little cutscene that played there. It's basically just telling you, like, oh, hey, we're ready. This is where you need to go, so go over here, and that's your next stop. But, of course, just like with any God of War that's decent enough, they'll give you chests and stuff. Funny enough, there's a part in God of War 4 that always reminds me of this little area. And it's that, I'm trying to think of what it is, but there's like, yeah, it's right outside, what's-her-nuts house. Faye, I think her name was. It's right outside her house, like when you go through the back door. There's that little swampy area down there. That's what I always think of. And again, going back to it, I wouldn't mind doing God of War 4. I keep talking about it every video, I know, but I wouldn't mind doing it to an extent. Not anytime soon, so don't expect it like... I probably wouldn't expect it even this year, I don't know. I mean, well, to be fair, this year is probably going to be the year of Hardcore, so you guys might actually finally get some more content going rather than Turd Monkey, because to be fair, with Turd Monkey, I'm just getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of doing the same Let's Play stuff over and over again, but it really depends. Co-ops are fine to a point, but it really depends. So anyway, here we are. We're back in the Prison of the Damned, which I'm not going to name it that either, because it would have to be called Prison of the Damned 2 or Prison of the Damned Part 2 or something. It just seemed like an odd name to have, so I just stuck with Martyr's Chamber, because that's technically where we go, even though it's a super small part, but you get the gist. The namings don't really matter as much. For these guys, luckily, there's no invisible wall for the satyrs, so we can at least throw them off. But I do think that when it comes to Cerberus, or Cerberi, that if you try to throw them off, they will always have an invisible wall activate on them. Something that kind of sucks about throwing enemies off is, unless you're doing the charge attack, which you can't even activate on your own anymore. You have to get a stun to get the charge move. It's not God of War 3 anymore. If you're going to be doing the stun charge, you can throw them off without like having them lock on to somebody else. However, the lock-on system will basically force me to, you know, have to lock on and hope I can throw off people. I would suggest that for this fight particularly, just stick with trying to get rid of the satyrs first. I wouldn't worry too much about getting weapons. I wouldn't worry too much about really any of that. Just go for grabs, go throw them off. If you get a rage thing, land it on the Cerberus. That sort of thing. If you're able to, you know, always go for a parry, because there's never a dull moment to not go for a parry, basically. Out of that, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's been I guess it's been a pretty boring day, to be fair. So, I'm just kind of going through the motions. By the way, whenever you move on the Cerberus, I think it does actually technically count as doing damage toward the enemies. So, keep that in mind as well, of course. And there we go. Finally, these fucking things finally go down. Now, I don't know 100% for sure if enemies get more health through the game. I want to say that probably not. Because, like, I do feel like when you get upgrades, you do kind of sort of feel that upgrade for your damage. As you should. Because it would be fucking pointless if they made it to where enemies just get, like, higher health as the game goes on. That would be complete bullshit. Because then, what would be the point of upgrading my damage besides just to keep up with the enemies? Keep them on the same level as they used to be. You know, that would just be kind of a weird system to have. Oh yeah, by the way, real quick, we do not have any more hour-long parts for this game. So that 1 hour-long part, that's it. There's nothing more to it. Thank God for that, because sitting here for an hour straight doing God of War content, you know, it's not the worst thing ever. It's just the fact that I'm here for an hour and I can't do anything. It really kind of takes it out of me. I used to do that a lot back when I was doing Wolverine, so I've learned my lesson on not going too far with videos. But there's just some videos I'm sure there's gonna be guides out there that are gonna have to probably do that. But then again, I could always just, depending on what kind of guide it is, I can always just cut them in half and just leave that. So Impusas, they're kind of nothing. They used to be a lot harder back in the day for me, but if you just use the amulet, then it just kind of saves you a lot of trouble. Which reminds me, for the Cerberus fight, you have the amulet. You can use it. You don't have to be like me and just completely forget that, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot I even had the damn thing. Because I wouldn't blame you if you forget, because if you don't play this game enough, you probably will forget. So, get nice kill there. And they also drop magic, of course, so that's always kind of nifty, but we got no need for it. And watch this. I looked away as soon as the game was telling me where to go. I looked away. I looked at my computer. So I missed out on where the fuck I was supposed to be going. And it didn't click in my head like, oh, shiny thing, jump onto that. So you'll see me run back here, and I think I do a quick cut No, never mind. I thought I did. No. I could have sworn I had a cut there. I don't know. But anyway, like, it took me a bit to figure out. I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is. I kind of wish that the flashing would make it a little bit more obvious or a little bit more apparent that you're supposed to do that, but they don't make it last as quick as I would hope. And there's just so much shiny shit going on all the time anyway in this fucking game, so sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know why they had a weapon just in the middle there for. I don't know why they have a lot of weapon placements in general. I don't know what the devs were thinking. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it, because it's like, you know, at one point it's like, well, maybe they might have a weapon at that point, they might need one. Sure, but you make it look like it's a big thing whenever there's like a weapon just in the middle. Like, it's some new weapon you can get. But it never really is. The one, which is funny too, because you have the demo section, right? There's that part where, because we all played the demo back in the day. We all played it. We played the demo back in the day, and I think that's the next part that comes up after this. I think that's where it starts next. It's got that cutscene where he grabs the sword. Hell, there's even a cutscene for the spear, and it's like, we've already seen the spear. I think. We've already seen the sword. You know, it's such a weird spot to have. Like, I get it for the demo. You know, that's a neat part, but it kind of comes off really weird, especially if you have a sword, and then Kratos just decides to say fuck it and picks up a sword in that same cutscene. So it just kind of throws me off. I'll probably bitch about that when we get there, but not that it's a big deal, of course. I'm just saying that it's kind of funny how instead of just maybe getting rid of that scene altogether or changing it up, they just left it in as is, and it's like, okay, that's kind of, it's kind of off-putting, you know? That's like having, if you played the Ninja Gaiden 2 demo, I don't think this happened, but that's like having the scythe at the very beginning of the demo, or whatever, and then you just have the scythe at the beginning of Chapter 1, and then you just lose it on Chapter 2 or something. You know what I mean? That would be kind of weird if they did that. So I think that, yeah. But then again, to be fair to their credit, you know, if I was a game dev, I probably wouldn't give a shit either. I'd just leave it in as well. I'd be like, nah, fuck you, it's cool. We spent all that work working on it, might as well just have it in. Or at the very least, they could have just maybe reused it somewhere else and had a better part with it, but who knows. Or that should have been the first fucking level. You know, none of this flashback bullshit, because, like, I get it, you know, we want to try to do the God of War 1 thing, but God of War 1 did it just fine. Sorry, God of War 1 did it just fine. And this game just does it like every 5 seconds. It's like, oh, yep, flashback, flashback. Like, okay, I get it. It's 2 weeks before, it's 2 weeks after, it's 2 days before, it's 2 days after. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I gotta find something to talk about, goddammit, because it's God of War Ascension and nothing's happening. So this puzzle, I remember like a long time ago, I had a hard time figuring this puzzle out. But what I usually do, like, I don't think it really exactly matters fully what order. I mean, there is an order to it, yeah, but at the same time, like, I think there's a bit of it where it's like, some of it you don't have to worry too much about. Like, you can always just wither this thing down and then open the hatch, but you at least have to open the hatch first before you grab this guy. So, see, that's the thing that I remembered. Like, every time I go here, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I need to grab him. And I was thinking, like, oh man, it's not one of those ones where I have to go down and then I have to go up, do I? Or I have to go up and then go down or some shit, but no. And I don't like this part where, like, you have to let go of R1. Like, there's no prompt to let go of it at all. Like, I just kind of wish that there was something that would tell me, like, oh hey, by the way, that's something that you can do. And yeah, here's me just double checking my homework, making sure I'm not missing anything, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right, there's the dead body guy, I might as well carry him with me, because I understand God of War logic, and if I understand God of War logic correctly, we're gonna need him. So, yeah. Not a bad puzzle. I mean, it does kind of work really well with the amulet thing, to be fair. It is one of those ones where, like, when you first play it, it's quite confusing. It's like, okay, this is so weird, like, because you're just getting used to the amulet part, you know? You're not sure how to use it against things that are inside of a puzzle like this, rather than just something that straight up tells you heal and decay. Much like with the cog puzzle later on in the game, like when we get to the Apollo statue area, that one still gets me from time to time. But yeah, if you come back here, you can grab a free Gorgon, I think. Yeah, there it is. So there's that. We're almost full max health, actually. We're getting pretty close. And these fucking doors, it's kind of funny because like, I think like while we're in the Temple of Delphi, you're supposed to wither all those damn doors down. But then like here, it's like all of a sudden you can just open them. Like, okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, but who knows. So anyway, I didn't use the sword because I like to keep my weapons around for the L1 circle movement, more so than using them as an actual weapon. I mean, I did there just to kind of just show it, because why the hell not? But yeah, don't forget, again, you have the amulet, and I would recommend using it on her. If you can, upgrade the amulet as quick as possible to at least level 2. So that way you can have a bit more duration, and I want to say, I'm not exactly sure how it works fully, but there's this thing whenever like you slow down somebody, it has the ability to kind of like create an AoE magnetic field, which I think it depends on the enemy you're fighting, because the Wraiths always, or Sirens typically always just kind of fly up on their own, and I think big Juggernaut type guys, I don't know, no wait, there's a certain one that gives off like a AoE aura thing, I think. I don't know. We'll see it later for sure. I know that for a fact. Like, I saw it in my playthrough, so I know it exists. It's just that I don't remember exactly who gives it off, whether just satyrs or not. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, if you get a Siren stunned, then for the most part you can just stun everybody else. And in all technicality, you could use that against her too. Like, you can just grab one of the guys that you stun and just ram right into her and get a little bit more damage. Although in terms of God of War 3 damage, I'm not sure if it does about the same as it used to or not. I have no clue. So it is what it is. Sorry, I keep yawning. Alright, oh, thank God it was not a Cerberus. I was like, God, please don't be one. So, we don't have, like, Medusa's gaze or Uriel's gaze or whatever. So, in all technicality, a amulet should, in theory, affect a Gorgon now. So, Gorgon fights are basically about the same thing they've always been. At this point in time, you've fought plenty of them that you should relatively know how to kind of deal with them. It does kind of suck that you have to fight one right after a damn Siren, but at the same time, the enemies, the lackeys that are in the fight itself, relatively are not that bad to deal with anyway. So in all fairness, it's like, well, even though I gotta deal with those lackeys, I mean, at least the enemy in question is just with shitty lackeys, and I can just focus on them instead. So there's that. Although I will not recommend going for breaking a stoned enemy, because I think in this game it takes a bit longer to kind of do. It just really depends on what God of War you're playing. Like, there's certain God of Wars that it works just fine. Like, you can get like a good free Plume or Prometheus or something and probably get like a kill that way. But this game, it just takes too damn long to do it, so I just don't even bother doing it, to be completely fair with you. But alas, she is finished, and I just go for the finisher because why not? I don't want to spend more time having to fight with her ass. But I will say, though, I do like fighting the Gorgons this game. I think they're actually quite fun to tackle. But yeah, I mean, there's good enemies. I'm not going to say that there's not. It's not really a full-on God of War game. It's kind of a weird mishmash of God of War and some other stuff together. Not that it's bad, just kind of throws you off as a God of War veteran, I guess you could say. But you would think, you know, as a God of War veteran, I should just learn how to play better. It's kind of, yeah, I'd say God of War Ascension is the Elden Ring for Dark Souls, where, like, you get so used to Dark Souls that every time you play a Dark Souls game, it's like, okay, I've got this. Dark Souls 1, I know what I'm doing. 2, knew what I'm doing. 3, knew what I'm doing. Bloodborne, you know, yada, yada, yada. Sekiro comes out, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's different, but I still kind of get it. And then, like, Elden Ring came out, and it's like, what the because, like, that's more closer to Dark Souls, and then even then, it's like, ooh, this is weird. Like, longer wind-ups and all this weird stuff together. Like, I just don't get it. Also, bear in mind that this is a QuickTime event, and don't fuck that up like I did, because, well, I fucked it up. Luckily, there's no boss fight here, as far as I'm aware. You just kind of have to do a QuickTime event and just beat up Persephone's horse compadre. I don't know exactly what this is supposed to be. Like, I know it's like dark magic stuff or whatever, but I think it's supposed to be I wouldn't say a Pegasus. I mean, it's a flying horse, so yeah, I would assume so. But it's kind of like a weird hybrid of like a harpy and some other shit. Who knows?
It matters not that you have my son's toy. It is your heart that will betray you.
Either way, I'm kind of glad that we didn't have to do a boss fight with it, because that would have been annoying at this point in time. And I think we're getting our flashback again. Anyway, yep, that's it. Thank you all for watching, and of course, as always, take care, everybody.
Close to the defeat.